The water here at Giant Springs is absolutely pure. In fact, they bottle it. You can buy it in the stores. But this water, which flows at about 150 million gallons a day, is something that I've always thought about as being an emergency resource. This area is known as Giant Springs, located in Great Falls, Montana. I've often thought about what happens if the grid goes down, if there's no electricity to run the pumps that pump the water from our water source up into the big tanks in all of our neighborhoods where gravity feeds down to all the houses. Well, if the power grid goes down, you're not going to be able to pump that water, and within a few short days everybody will be out of water. And I often thought, well, gee, this is only a couple miles from my house here. I can come down here and even if I have to tow a little red flyer wagon or something, I can come down here and get water out of Giant Springs and we'd be all right. It's pure. You don't even have to boil it or anything. But what are you going to do if you don't have the luxury of a water source like this? Look what happened in Texas just recently when the power grid in the entire state shut down. And then people's pipes froze. And they were told, you need to boil your water. They didn't have electricity to boil water. They were in a really bad way. Well, I want to show you how to make a water filter very inexpensively that you can have in your home or take camping with you and always have a source of pure drinking water without having to boil it. The Berkey filters are very popular and a lot of people use them, but they're very expensive. We're going to do this on a budget because that's the way I like to do stuff. Well, a long time ago I did a video. It was actually about handling the mice on our off-grid property, but I also talked about using or making a homemade water filter, and I used 5-gallon buckets to do it. It's a Berkey type of filter, but a lot less expensive. Now, I need to make one for our home here, but for some reason Linda doesn't want 5-gallon plastic buckets sitting up on top of the kitchen countertop. So we're going to make something a little nicer. I went down to America's favorite box store, Walmart, and I bought these 12-quart stainless steel pots. They're real simple, and they're cheap. They were only $9.87 a piece. So what I'm going to be using is these ceramic filters. And these are just like the ones that we used out at the property. Now, I got to tell you, I've got a couple different springs on that property. The lower one puts out absolutely pure water, but the one up above our trailer, or that we use as a cabin, it did test positive for fecal coliform because there's deer and animals that hang out up there in that area, and of course that gets into the soil and it settles down into the spring. So you can't drink that water directly, but using these filters makes it perfectly safe. These are ceramic filters. They're very inexpensive. These are less than $10 a piece. And all you need to do is drill a hole in the bottom of these pans, and it comes with a rubber or a washer down here and a seal. And you just drill a 1/2-inch hole in the bottom of the pans and you stick these in and put the wing nut on the bottom to cinch them down. Now this ceramic filter is very soft, and the way these work is fact, they'll leave powder residue on your fingers. These filter out Giardia, all bacteria, and they also filter out heavy metals. So, you know, it gets the lead out and things like that. Our water didn't test for heavy metals, but it gets that out too. These slough off their outside coating because as they get dirty, you take a cloth and you wipe them off, you know, and rinse out your pan if you see them getting discolored. They filter so fine that no bacteria can get through, and they do work. They're so inexpensive that if they happen to break while they're cleaning or something like that, just pop in a new one. That's all you need to do. Now I'm putting in 2 of them in the bottom of the pan. And all I need to do is drill 2 holes in one pan, and in the pan that goes on the bottom, I'm putting this spigot on it. Yeah, it's a big spigot. It's real high quality. It's been sitting in my drawer in the shop for years, so I figured I may as well use it. It's just a 1/4 turn on and a 1/4 turn off, so it should be pretty handy. It's not that bad looking. So the way this will work will be, there'll be 2 filters in the bottom of one pan, and it'll fit on top like this, and then the spigot down here on the bottom. So let's get started. I'll put a link to these. These are the ones I used in my first, they say Korea ceramic. They're probably made in China. They all are. There are tons of these available on Amazon. And like I say, they're very inexpensive, but they do work. This just happens to be the kind that I used in my first one. And I know they work very well. Nobody gets sick off our water, so we're in good shape. Anyhow, I just need to plan the 2 of these. Oh, the reason I'm using 2 is because it takes quite a while for the water to drip down through these. But by using 2 of them, you cut that time in half. This has got a lip or a ridge on it, and I want them both to sit on the flat part. So they're going to go close together down here on the bottom. And I'm just eyeballing this. Now I mentioned that these were soft, and they are. And they wear away. They recommend that you replace these once a year, or underneath this soft ceramic is a plastic grid. And as you wipe them clean, wipe the sediment or the residue off the outside once in a while, you'll wear down to that plastic grid. When you see the plastic grid, it's time to replace them. Now the hard part is drilling the holes, because drilling stainless is not easy. This stainless is work hardened from the making of the pan, so that's going to be the hard part. But I'm just going to go do that. I'm going to drill a small pilot hole, like a 1/4 inch hole, and then I'll enlarge that to 1/2 inch, because these are 1/2 inch. The hard one for me to drill is going to be in the bottom of the other pan. It's because this is like 1 1/8 inches or something. So I'm going to have to drill it as big as I can, and then I'm going to have to finish the hole off with a rat tail file. I don't have one of those fancy drill bits that are shaped like an upside down wedding cake. I went to buy one of those one time. They wanted $55 for it. So I'm just going to drill the biggest hole I can, and I'm going to finish it out with a round file or a rat tail file till this fits like this. Okay, now what I want to do is just try it out and make sure that the 2 filters are going to fit in the bottom of this pan. the seal on first. Put it in the bottom. Put it in the bottom of the pan and put the wing nut on the bottom. Now the water goes through the ceramic filter and comes out through the hole in the center of this fitting here. All right. Well, basically, this is a water filter right now, just the way it is. But I'm going to fit the other one in there too. And there's the second hole. I can't use this file on the inside, so I'm using sandpaper on the inside. Looks like it just fits. People say they break these. They break off at the base, and I think that's because when they install them, they're tightening by twisting this ceramic part, and it's very fragile. So for final tightening, only use the wing nut here. That's it. And boy, those came out just touching on the inside. They are a perfect fit. But it worked. Okay, now this is going to go on top of here. Like that. Now all he's got to do is cut that big hole in the bottom of this pan. That's going to be a lot harder. Now this big faucet is going to be mounted a ways off the bottom, so we'll have to tip this up to get the last bit of water out of it, but that's okay. Like I say, it's just something I had sitting around. You like my by guess and by golly method of measuring? Hole number 1. Hole number 2. Now it's time for the file. Okay, that was the hard part, but through the use of a file and a Dremel tool, I finally got that to accept this piece. Now the only problem is getting some kind of a nut on the back of this that won't rust, that'll hold this in. What I ended up with was a 3/4 inch NPT PVC coupling, but it won't screw on here all the way. It'll only go on that far. And that leaves a big gap in there for the thickness of that stainless steel pot. So I'm going to cut a section off of this to kind of take up some space. If there's an easier way to do this, for example, you can get those little flip-up water container valves, and you can buy those on Amazon too. And that's probably the easiest way and the neatest way to do this. But we kind of thought this might look kind of cool, so that's why I'm going through the extra trouble here. Well, I just took a hacksaw and cut off this little piece here from this PVC coupling. Then I just sandpapered off the edges a little bit. Now I'm going to put this through the bucket with some silicone sealant, slide that on, and tighten up this coupling from the back side. And that'll do it. That'll seal down, that'll cinch down tight. Now what's faster than drilling a big hole down here and putting in this, this brass faucet is just using a regular cooler jug faucet like you can buy on Amazon, like the one I'm showing now. The hole is much smaller. It comes with the nut and the washer that goes on the back, makes installation really simple.
Oh yeah, this looks good. It looks way better than those 5-gallon plastic buckets we have. Yeah, this can stay in my kitchen. You have to move it a little, but it can stay here.
So, If Linda says this is okay, then it's okay. Hey, by the way, when we're on the road, we carry this collapsible kit. This is a Sawyer mini filter, and you just fill it with water, and then this drains into a 1 gallon bucket. So we've always got a way to get water out of a stream, or in case we catch rainwater, which we do on occasion. Normally we just use that for washing stuff, but for drinking, if we're going to turn it into drinking water, we can filter it this way. And this, of course, rolls up very small. It's stored away very easy. Now this filter takes out bacteria, but it doesn't take out taste, and what you need for that is a charcoal filter. And this is an RV charcoal filter like you would hook up to the spigot to give you good tasting water. But heck, I've hand poured water down through here just one time, or a couple of times I can remember, where we just got bad tasting water. We didn't even want to make coffee with it, and we poured water through this. This would also hook up to the spigot. If you had a spigot like this on, this would screw to that. But there are ways to get better tasting water, and that's a charcoal filter. So we bring this with us also. A lot of times when we just stop and we're refilling our jugs, our 5-gallon jugs from a faucet, I'll taste the water first, because there's no way I'm taking it with me unless I make sure it tastes good. And if it doesn't, then what I do is I hook this up to that spigot, and then I fill our 5-gallon jugs. These nice water bottles were sent to us by Sparrow. Super Sparrows, and they're pretty nice. I guess they saw us drinking out of my old, or saw me drinking out of my old canteen. But anyways, this is pretty nice. I like them. They got a replaceable, they send replaceable seals for it in case you wear the seals out. And they send straws, and they also send the bottle brushes, the small ones, to go down through the straws to clean them out. And on the top side, it's got a filter on it, or a screen on it, so that if you put fresh squeezed juices in it, it filters that out. So that's pretty nice. And then the other one is an insulated bottle, and it comes with a neoprene sleeve with a strap over it, like this, so you can sling it over your shoulder. So it's got the insulation of being double wall stainless, plus it's got the nice carrier on it. Keeps it from banging around. And it came with this beautiful stainless steel and wood top, and then it also came with this this top on it here, which is you can drink straight out of it and close it really easy. So I like that too. Yeah, pretty neat stuff from Super Sparrow. You can find them on Amazon. Now the total cost of this is about $40. And that includes the stainless steel buckets and their pots and the 2 filters. And that would include the plastic valve on the bottom down here, like I showed you. It'd be more than that if you go with one of these fancy brass ones. That thing was about 14 bucks if you buy it. Like I say, I had it sitting around. Now, if you were to make this out of plastic buckets, this could be done for about $20. Handy to have in case of power outage, or just anytime, camping, whatever. You can bring this along camping. Or just if the power goes down, all of a sudden you're having a tough time getting clean water, this is a good thing to have around, just for safety's sake. Anyways, I hope you guys liked the video. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you around.